Chapter 781. Enough! Lady Richard was very angry and she yelled violently as she glared at Elaine before she cursed and said, "You bitch! So what if the Richard family is in despair right now? We'll definitely have a chance to rise again sooner or later. When that day comes, it will be completely impossible for me to accept you back into the Richard family even if you beg me to accept you." Trump hurriedly said to Elaine, "Elaine, how could you speak to Mom like this? Hurry up and apologize to her now." Elaine frowned as she stared at Trump and said coldly, "Have you forgotten that this old woman drove you out of the Richard family? Are you starting to defend her and protect her again? You may treat her as your mother, but has she ever treated you as her own son?" After she was done speaking, Elaine pointed at Lady Richard before she said coldly, "Old lady, I hope that you can get your facts right and figure out the exact situation that you're in right now. Are you still pretending as though you're so high and mighty right now? Let me tell you something. I'll never go back even if you kneel down and beg me to return to the Richard family. The Richard family is worth nothing at all right now. You're so pathetic that you even have to sell off your own furniture to make ends meet. Who the hell would want to go back to the Richard family?" Lady Richard was so angry that she pointed her finger at Elaine before she said, "Elaine, I've lived for so many years on this earth, but you're the first person who actually dares to talk to me like this. I hope that you can remember what you've said today. Sooner or later, the day will come where I'll break your legs and make you kneel down and kowtow to apologize to me." Elaine laughed before she said, "Oh, based on your ability? You're nothing but a handful of old bones that's already making its way to the grave and you're actually thinking of breaking my legs? Go ahead, my legs are here. If you have the ability to do so, you can try to break my legs now." As she spoke, Elaine actually stretched her legs out in front of Lady Richard as she sneered at her with contempt. Lady Richard was very annoyed and she really felt like breaking Elaine's legs on the spot. Who gave her the courage to be so arrogant in front of her? However, Lady Richard did not dare to do anything in front of Alex. She could still vividly remember the scene where Alex had beaten up a whole group of bodyguards all by himself and she was still lingering in fear as she thought about it. At the same time, Harold used to be very arrogant, but he did not even dare to say anything at all now that Alex was here. He did not even dare to step forward to defend his own grandmother even when she was being insulted by Elaine, and he could only hide in the back with a sad expression on his face. At this time, Michael had a very ugly expression on his face as he walked back into the furniture shop with the boss. As soon as he came back, Michael said, "Mom, let's go. The price that he's offering is simply too low." The boss hurriedly replied, "Brother, the price of $1.1 million that I'm offering you is a very good price. Your Hainan Lexington furniture set is made out of average materials and it is already pretty old. There is also considerable damage done to the furniture. Therefore, I'm already offering you a very fair price for it. If you try your luck at another shop, you won't be able to get a higher price than what I have offered you." Lady Richard was already very upset, and when she heard that the boss was only offering $1.1 million for the sofa set, she shouted angrily, "It is such a good furniture set. How could you only offer to pay us $1.1 million for it? Aren't you simply trying to take advantage of us?" The boss replied helplessly, "I'm offering you a very fair price for the sofa set. If you don't believe me, you can try asking around." Lady Richard snorted coldly before she said, "Come, let's go. We'll ask another shop to quote us for the sofa set. I don't believe that the price for the sofa set is so low." Trump hurriedly said at this time, "Mom, why don't I give you $1,200,000 for the sofa set instead? You can just sell it to me. To be honest, I actually really love the sofa set that Dad left behind for us. Dream on." Lady Richard gritted her teeth before she said, "I would never sell it to you even if I have to chop the sofa set up and burn it." After she was done speaking, Lady Richard looked at Michael before she waved her hand and said, "Let's go." Michael glared at Trump before he hurriedly accompanied the old lady and walked out of the shop. Trump could only look at their backs as they left. At this time, he shook his head before he sighed and said, I really did not expect the Richard family to end up in such a miserable state. I can't believe that they would come to this point where they have no choice but to sell off their furniture to make ends meet. Did you know that that sofa set used to be my father's favorite possession during his lifetime? It's really such a shame that they'll be selling it. Emma knew that her father had a lot of feelings and affection for the sofa set. Therefore, she stepped forward to comfort him. It's okay, Dad. It is impossible for Grandma to agree to sell the sofa set to you. We should just take a look at some other furniture instead. Yes, Trump sighed before he told the salesman, let me take a look around your shop. The Hainan Lexington wood sofa set is too expensive and I'll have to wait too long for the Burmese Lexington wood sofa set.